4. Min never got his queenside going, and Magnus just absolutely dominant the first two games. Min's he's got to shake it off a bit. I actually have a feeling Magnus will not return to those Spanish lines because Min had so much preparation there. He's going to stick to this d4, c4 stuff. And this is interesting. He plays the Catalan where you give up the pawn completely. Like, this whole setup by Black is designed to stop the Catalan, and Magnus just plays the Catalan anyway.
Yeah, Magnus just he does not care what his opponent's setup is. He will impose his will on the board. Now, Levy, I should point out that Magnus and Hikaru have two, in my opinion, very different approaches to the SCC. Both have led to excellence over the years. Hikaru is a stubborn guy in terms of openings. He will choose his offbeat openings and he will play them, come hell or high water. He played the Scandi yesterday against Jose. He had an average of a -2 position or +2 position for white out of the opening. He kept playing it, and he makes it work. Magnus will not hesitate for a second to swap out openings with white or black. He doesn't care. He has such versatile knowledge that the moment he senses that he's uncomfortable with a line that his opponent is playing, he will not bother to try to finesse or tease out an improvement. He'll just play a different first move.
And I love that. I really enjoy watching Speed Chess Championship matches where you get 25 different openings, but that's not how most people play. And if you look historically over the last several seasons and who's been in the SCC, it's actually very common for about 80 to 90% of a match, especially in the blitz segment, because bullet is very random, to feature the same two openings over and over. Look no further than not a Speed Chess Championship match, but a recently completed, mildly controversial event held in Madrid, Spain, between one Vladimir Kramnik and Jose Martinez. They literally played the same two openings the entire match. I don't know much about that match. I wasn't involved. But Magnus, like you said, will play everything and anything. And which one do you like? You like getting a masterclass of a certain opening, or you like getting 20 different openings?
I'm with you. 20 different openings, and kudos, Levy, to you for holding down the fort on that event. That could not have been easy. And I think people underestimate how hard it is to be, bystander in those types of situations.
It's a fun time.
Well done. But already here we can see Magnus developing the initiative. Typical Catalan situation. I like a match which has many different openings. I like a theoretical duel. I like seeing the players try to, again, tease out where exactly is my mistake coming on move 20 or move 15. But here we get a diversity of structures. We get tactical and positional situations. We have a surprise Levy Rosman who does not like the move knight f to d7.
Isn't 95 like that? Like 97 smells. You've used that term before.
And it doesn't smell like lilac and pine car scent.
No. It smells. That's
because come out of the chevron.
Black is 2 moves away from getting castled still. Where's the blue arrow? Can we get a blue? Where's the blue arrow? And where's the when you finally need it?
The lack of a blue arrow, Levy, tells us there's more than one good move. And 95 bishop f4 is just nasty for Black. Knight f to d7. Now Min was obviously keeping the other knight on its initial square by design. He wants to make sure that there are no discovered attacks against this black bishop.
But what is the plan after bishop f4? Is he going to take on b5 and then figure it out? Or
bishop e7, I think. I think the point is this, and we can pull up a board really quickly. Bishop f4. Min will just ignore, and there are some tricks up his sleeve, too. He's like, it takes 2 to tango.
Queen c7,
and, the knight. But okay. But the problem is Magnus can sidestep this. He can just move his queen up to a5, which he's actually choosing to do immediately, also good. And Min will lose this pawn or lose this bishop, and neither option is acceptable for Black. He's gone here immediately.
Yeah, queen a5.
Maybe this.
And wow, bishop d6. I mean, you're going to lose a pawn, so you're going to have equal material, and white will have the bishop pair, and white will have some targets, and white is Magnus. So he's got Magnus bonus and a better position across the board.
Yeah, this is a calamity. There's no other way to put it. This is a catastrophic start for Min. And he could lose this game in 16, 17 moves. I mean, the problem isn't that he's losing a pawn, Levy, as you're hinting at. You would love to just give away a pawn and castle and get your pieces to safety. Total lack of coordination here. You could lose all 3 of your queenside pawns easily in the blink of an eye.
Not really sure what he can do. And in many ways, what I'm sensing right now from Min Lei is that he needs the 3-1 and he needs the 1-1. He needs the segment where he has way less time to overthink things. It really feels as though he is overthinking things. In that first game, he had rook to d3. It was a move you play by hand, and then you sort of figure it out. In the second game, things spun out of control also very quickly. And here he's down a minute and a half. He hasn't stopped shaking his head, and the opening has clearly not worked out in his favor.
Yeah, and the thing is, I played Magnus in a pretty long 3-0 match a couple of days ago. And sometimes there are very rare situations when I feel like I can calculate it, I can hang with him. But sometimes the kind of Magnus that shows up, he just starts winning game after game, and you feel like I can absolutely lose 15 games in a row. Like that is absolutely a possibility that is on the table. I lost 8 in a row before I recovered with a lucky tactic. But he sometimes gets into that meat grinder mentality, and you feel like there is literally nothing you can do. There's no opening you can play. There's no trap that you can spring. There is no position that you can steer the game to because he is just superior across the board, literally and figuratively. And this is the kind of Magnus that has shown up in the early going of this match.
This is also a textbook position from his wheelhouse. He's got nagging pressure, bishop pair, time advantage, and it will take a Hikaru-esque, if you will, defensive effort here from Min Lei not to lose.
Yeah, this is a mess. Bishop pair, e4.
And they have already began advertising the next match. I mean, you cannot call for a more disrespectful graphic.
Yeah.
Just, guys, here's the next match. All right, this is... No, that's not the call to action. Go ahead.
It's coming up, though. That next match, it's just a sign for folks at home, to clear your schedule because the 2 ends, Nepo and Noterbeck, they will be duking it out in the second part of our doubleheader coming your way, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a fun day. It's not a fun day for Min. Everybody's enjoying this. Min is not enjoying this. He needs to change the course of this narrative, the way that this match is unfolding. Look at Magnus converting this. Queen b5, just grabbing space. e5 will be met with bishop h3. The bishop is just sort of lying in wait, like a stealthy snake.
This is one of the... You live for chess positions like this. People would probably tribute an arm and a leg if you told them that every game you play with white will look like this one does. Just every advantage going in your favor, and you just have to convert it the right way, but you can convert it the wrong way and still win. Yeah, you just draw arrows. Every arrow is good. D5, E5,
knight d2,
everything. Yeah.
B3, H4. I mean, you can see Magnus playing anything here. Bishop D2, of course, also good.
Yeah, bishop D2. I mean, the pawn is weak. You want to take the pawn, right? You can't even... Yeah, Min has to do something. So he plays B3, but... Yep. Exactly. And
in the time situation too, Levy, just look... I mean, it's just overwhelming pressure on all fronts.
You can play rook c3 here. You can play e5, bishop c3. Just any move. Bishop c3 and you start a kingside attack instead. Just... You can do anything you want. And he just takes the pawn.
c5. Good attempt by Min. I mean, trying to open up the board, create some element of tactics here. But yeah, the price of a move for Magnus is anything keeps the decisive advantage. This is the issue. Where is the counterplay going to come from? This is resignable. This is painful to look at, this position.
Positions like this where you've got maybe 5-6 seconds are actually some of the hardest to win. We've just complimented all of Magnus's efforts, but they're actually some of the toughest to win because this is where your heart starts pumping. Where you're like, I'm going to win the game. I've done everything right. My opponent's got 5 seconds. Please just give up. Mm-hmm. And that's where you might slip up and allow a little bit of counterplay. So you sort of expect the game to just sort of play itself out.
Oh, that is a look at that heads-up defensive idea by Min. We've been singing Magnus's praises, but let's not overlook his moxie here in trying to hold this position.
And
bishop takes b6, the queen would have returned.
Yes, it would have returned. It would have pinned, and then you would have maybe had opposite colored bishops, which is drawable. And this is still a game, but it's very close to being totally over.
Yeah, his position just one little natural disaster away. Magnus has to be very judicious about when he pushes this pawn. b4, the knight will drop back, and we talk about patience. This is what it's all about: keeping the pawn on its initial square for as long as it takes.
Yes.
He's down to 25 seconds, by the way. He's gotten a little bit too comfortable here with his time advantage.
And I was going to say,
time advantage?
He can't be patient for much longer. You've got milliseconds on both clocks now, and like I said, this is the phase of the game. It gets hard to convert a position because the other guy just won't go down.
Yeah, Min is so good at bend but not break. He'll give you space and territory, but he won't blunder. Queen a8, such inventive defense. But Magnus seeing through all of the little traps here.
Yeah, but they're not over. This is great stuff from Black. But he just can't activate any pieces, Danya. He's just playing with one piece.
Yeah, that queen is doing everything it can. It's turning the world over, but you need the minor pieces to participate, and they are. They are. Yes,
now they are, and this is the closest. This is the closest Min's been alive the whole game.
Unbelievable. But the problem is he's still down upon Magnus. Magnus is still really good in these situations.
Oh my goodness. There are so many tactics now. Oh, not anymore.
Bishop F2, knight F2, but the bishop drops back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, knight H1.
Knight H1, but it's not possible, and I think just bishop E1 is on the way.
Queen H4.
What?
Min had queen H4.
Oh, now Magnus is down on time. 2 seconds remaining for Magnus. There's no knight forks.
Oh my gosh, where does he go? He could get checkmated here. The king zigzagging its way out of the checks.
Knight C1?
There's not enough, Levy.
Oh. And queen H7 is mate. Oh, there was check, but yes.
Still not over. There's a perpetual... White has to be very careful about how he escapes these checks.
Queen C4. Oh my goodness, Danya, this is crazy.
Bishop B3, queen A8. Min still going. That queen is indefatigable. Another check.
Queen B1. Oh, it's.
This ain't fair. This just isn't fair.
And there we go. Wow. And he applauds his opponent because that was actually way closer than Magnus would have liked. But it's 3-0.